if you want to break down a society, get their children confused, get the next generation where they're not prepared to live with life. And I think that's to deal with life. And I think that's one of the things that's contributing to the problems we're having now. I think there are people that are trying to hijack the narrative in America. And what I'm talking about is, well, the question that you're asking is who is they? And I think the they depends on the subject matter. We have people that are trying to waylay history, pretend our history didn't happen. Let's go into the schools and rewrite the history books for kids. Let's go in and rewrite some of the classics that the kids are reading and take out things that we think maybe they shouldn't see. But let me tell you something. You can't change history. I'm not left. I'm not right. What I am is fact-based. I deal with science. I deal with facts. I deal with reality. And I deal with real people that come to me with real challenges looking for real solutions. And to do that, you have to deal with science, you have to deal with history, you have to deal with facts. And I think if people are trying to change that narrative and replace it with something that's more convenient for them, whether they're trying to rewrite biology, rewrite science, rewrite history, that's just not healthy. You just can't make things up because you want them to be different. And that's something that is really disrupting a lot of people's feelings of safety and security and trying to change what's happening, what has happened to make this a great country that people aspire towards. And let me be very specific here. In our colleges right now, we see professors that are teaching that the goal should be equality of outcome in this country. The fact that I've entitled this new network Merit Street Media is not by accident. This country was founded on and built on a meritocracy where talent, hard work, added value is rewarded. But now the idea is, no, let's not do that. We need to all work towards equality of outcome without consideration for quality of input. That has never worked. It's not going to work, and we need to get back to recognizing that when people work hard, they should be rewarded. When they don't, they shouldn't. You can't have somebody sitting home in a beanbag eating Cheetos all day and they get the same outcome as somebody that's out really working hard and making every effort they can to contribute to society. They don't get the same outcome. They shouldn't get the same outcome.
So, Doc, what are we supposed to do with the inclination to make things better? I don't hear a lot of people saying that you got to have equal outcomes. It's really about equal opportunity that people speak to. As my father used to say, may he rest in peace, was the best guarantee that America can give you is a chance to succeed or fail on your own merits. Well,
you're listening to different people than I'm listening to.
Well, maybe. And maybe that's why conversation matters so much, right, Doc? And one of the reasons I value time with you is we have a bad imbalance in our country in many ways. One of them is something that I actually picked up from an earlier work of yours, the difference between perception and perspective. We are obsessed with what is coming out of our own heads and what we are being made to feel we believe, and we are doing less and less of listening to anyone and anything outside of that. And it's a really dangerous conversation that I believe in a they also. And I believe that the party players and the powerful and the established corridors of leadership in this country love that we're not talking to each other. Love that it's easier to keep us divided by being afraid and talking about different groups instead of to and with those groups. Do you see this in our society as manifested in our politics? And is there a they there?
Well, I think so. And I love to hear you saying this, because what I'm trying to do is get people having a conversation, first around the kitchen table, well, maybe first with themselves, giving themselves permission to speak up and be heard.
Without
then
these.
Around their kitchen table
Without
with each
these.
other. Exactly.
with these people,
down.
but
Turn
not with
off.
this phone.
Yeah, exactly. Put that thing down and actually make eye contact with someone around the table first, then maybe you do it at church, maybe you do it in the neighborhood, around the barbecue in the backyard, and then you take it wider. We need to start talking to each other. Just because you disagree with somebody doesn't mean you have to hate them. And you can disagree, and then you can go to lunch. And people say, well, we're talking about life or death things here, Dr. Phil. I don't want to go have lunch with somebody that disagrees with life or death issues. Well, yeah, you do. Don't take yourself so seriously. You know, nobody made you the repository of all knowledge. Maybe you'll learn something. And, I try to get people to focus on solving problems rather than winning arguments. We got enough right fighters in this country. How about you quit trying to be right and start trying to solve problems? And that's, and I say that to myself as well. I'm trying to find a way to solve some problems. Famous Texan Sam Rayburn, former Speaker of the House, said any jackass can kick down a barn, but it takes a carpenter to build one.
Hey, thank you for watching. Please go to newsnationnow.com, newsnationnow.com, and you can find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button down below. Then you will get more of News Nation's fact-driven coverage.